Today, I'm taking not one, but two Delta first class flights in quick succession as we travel from Vancouver to Los Angeles via Seattle. And in this video, I will be reviewing the differences in service for these two very different flights. Coming up next. Hi fellow travelers, this is Ken here and welcome back to my channel. Today, we are at Vancouver International Airport and we are flying to Los Angeles with Delta. Originally, we were booked to fly direct with WestJet, but following a schedule change, we are flying with Delta with a quick stop at Seattle instead. More on that later. We just checked in our bags, so we'll go through immigration and security. When you fly from major Canadian airports like Vancouver, you actually go through US immigration and customs here. This is called US pre-clearance. So when we land in Seattle, we'll be treated as domestic passengers. So we've just gone through the security as well as immigration. It was very efficient, right? When you are flying with a Delta for first class, when it's a domestic flight or basically Canada, Mexico, etc., you don't get lounge access, but we got priority pass. So we're going to visit the Plaza Premium Lounge. So luck would have it, the Plaza Premium Lounge is actually by E88. So you can see behind me is gate E88, which is where our flight will be departing. And let me just flip it around. That's where Plaza Premium Lounge is. Really handy. Alright, so a few quick notes on the Plaza Premium Lounge here at Vancouver. I didn't really plan a full review, but I'll walk you through the basics. The lounge is not big. Finding a seat was a bit of a challenge initially. The situation did improve after a couple of flights started boarding and we were then able to spread out. The lounge has a self-serve buffet near the entrance, which was convenient. The selection is modest but covers the basics. There's some meat for protein, rice and a few desserts. While it's not exactly a culinary standout, it's decent enough and I've seen far worse in other airport lounges. The lounge overlooks the arrivals hall, so no views of the apron or the planes here. As for beverages, beer, wine and a selection of liquor are complimentary. Of course, there is also coffee, tea and soft drinks for those staying sober. Overall, this is a decent enough lounge, particularly if you are feeling a bit peckish. It certainly beats being outside waiting by the gate. Vancouver to Los Angeles, we booked with WestJet originally because it's so much cheaper than American Airlines. Having decided to fly with WestJet, we booked the flight through Delta as a code share to earn Virgin Atlantic miles. But when WestJet moved the flight earlier, we switched to indirect flights on Delta to avoid cutting our time in Vancouver short. Well, I just got notification that our next flight, Seattle to Los Angeles, has been delayed for an hour. So it did make our decision to change to having indirect flights rather than a direct one on WestJet to Los Angeles. Rather poor, but well, we can't change anything now, so we'll just have to roll with it. So it's time to head to the boarding gates now. Well, welcome aboard the Delta 3968 from Vancouver to Seattle. This is going to be a very short flight. This flight is actually operated by SkyWest Airlines despite having a Delta flight number. And the flight operating it is a E175. So boarding has been complete and the gate has been pushed back. Here we go. We are on the runway now. Wow, that's a really steep takeoff. Our seats are the classic US Airlines domestic first class seats. Nothing flashy, but quite comfortable, especially for a very short flight like this. With a generous 36-inch seat pitch, there's plenty of leg room. The 1-2 cabin layout also gives it a spacious, roomy feel. On the short flights like this, you don't really get any real food, but you do get nuts, chocolate bar like this, And you can get any drink you like. I order a sparkling wine. Oh, not so sure about it.
Your seat backs and tray tables are in the upright lock position. The owl armrests are in the resting position.
Wow, that must be the shortest ever international flight.
Yeah.
We just got up to 10,000 feet, got served food and drinks, and the announcement came, we're now descending. Well, what an adventure. We spent 35 minutes in the air, but I reckon we spent at least twice that amount of time on the ground, taxiing, waiting for a gate, and then the bus transfer. Anyway, we're back at Seattle Tacoma International Airport, where the whole Alaska adventure started. 16 days ago, we boarded the Alaska Airlines flights to Fairbanks, where we had the adventure of a lifetime in the last frontier. Anyway, we're now heading to Gate B3 for our next flight to Los Angeles. Again, Delta does not grant lounge access, even for those traveling in domestic first class. Our flight has been delayed for 46 minutes, and the Gate B3 now is still being used for the previous flight. Right, there are people boarding now, and we're invited to get near our gate in the line appropriate for our group number. We are boarding. This is the flight to LA. Our next flight from Seattle to Los Angeles is operated by a Boeing 737-900ER with seats in a 2-2 configuration. The seat pitch is even better than the last flight at 37 inches, so there's plenty of room to stretch out. Each seat has a touchscreen display with a USB-A port conveniently located just below it. There's also a universal AC power socket at the base of the seat. The plane is equipped with Wi-Fi, which you can access for free by logging in with your Delta Sky Miles account. Once boarding was complete, we were on our way again. By now, the weather had turned a bit grey, so we didn't get much of a view during takeoff. But soon enough, we rose above the clouds, catching a beautiful glimpse of Mount Rainier peeking through the cloud layer, bathed in the warm evening light. It was truly a stunning sight. By now, we were definitely ready for dinner. Well, everyone has been served their dinner now, but the flight attendants seem to be skipping around us. Every row around has been served dinner, but still we haven't got our dinner. I have no idea why. But finally, they have served our dinner, and it's now 10 p.m. It's so late. For dinner, we've gone for the braised beef, and luckily it was good and worth the wait. The beef was tender and packed with flavor. Oh, and the chocolate cake was a nice finish. By the way, if you've been enjoying this video, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing with notifications turned on so that you don't miss any of my future videos. As we approached Los Angeles, it's time to sum up our experience. Overall, the dinner itself was great, tasty and well prepared. But the service was a bit hit or miss. Even though we were seated in row 2, the crew served every other row before finally getting to us, which made us feel a bit overlooked. One thing we weren't too thrilled about was the lack of lounge access for first-class passengers, even those with elite status. With American and Alaska, we've had lounge access through our British Airways Executive Club status. On the plus side, Delta does offer free Wi-Fi and seat back screen, which is always a nice perk. Overall, I found the whole experience on Delta First Class average. It's not the worst, but we have had better on both American and Alaska Airlines. It's a comfortable flight overall, but I'm not so sure that we'll choose them again in the future. particularly if the price is similar. Well, thanks for joining me on this Delta First Class Flight Trip report, and I hope you found the review useful or enjoyable. I'll see you in the next video. Ciao! Well, welcome to Los Angeles Airport. We finally arrived at our last city of this epic trip.